Greetings, preachers and teachers. I hope you're enjoying watching each other's sermons and giving them feedback. I loved reading your own self-evaluations. Remember those due tonight. This is Tuesday, your peer feedback. I will give you a compiled version of that tomorrow. So if whoever gets their stuff done by midnight tonight, that will be the grade that's assigned for the peer portion of your preaching grades. Most of you have been doing that on the Jot form that I emailed you. That is the preferred way to do it. It's way easier for me as well as easier for you to give the feedback. Some of you have gone with the older version because I know that's how the curriculum was developed, and that's fine. I will accept that for full credit. And so a lot of you will be getting the individual forms emailed in addition to one Excel spreadsheet that has all the feedback from your peers there. So you'll get some of both. If you've not done it yet, please go back to that email from me with the Jot form, and then you just type in the stuff, click, 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 and it will be a much quicker job for you than filling out the whole PDF form that you have in the other version. And remember, those are due tonight by midnight. And then you're already starting to work on your exegetical sermon. I saw your posts for this past week. Looking forward to them. It's a lot of great topics. It's interesting how so many of you are landing in Ephesians 5. That's fine, how that works out, whatever you choose to do. I will say some of you are only listing one verse. I'm asking that be at least 3 verses, no more than 20. 3 to 7 is usually really ideal. I need it to be enough that you are actually putting into practice all of the exegetical activities. Remember, also study it in context. Your goal in an exegetical sermon is not to preach what you think that biblical text means, what you think it should mean. It is, what does it mean in its context? You need to do the study of the full context there with that. If you already identified just 1 or 2 verses, you can go ahead and keep that same text, but just do a broader passage. Again, at least 3 verses if you can do that. Really appreciate that there as well. And also this week you'll do your evaluation of professional preachers that you'll be looking at online. I'm asking you to do 3 of those. At least 1 needs to be a female, and you can add some other names on the list. A lot of you said you're big Priscilla Schreier fans. You can certainly do one of hers as well. Somebody else there, that would be great. And then 2 pastors of churches on the Outreach 100 list, either the fastest growing or the largest churches in America. It's usually related to preaching. It's a big part of why churches grow. That's why I want you to look at them and make it diverse. Make it people maybe you haven't listened to before, and be looking at this. It's almost like you're in high school anatomy class and you're ready to do a dissection, right? It's different. You used to go into sermon to receive, and you can still receive, but what I want you to do is analyze and see what makes a sermon work, and think about your own experience of preaching. Some of you, sermon number 1 was your first time to preach. It will affect how you look at these sermons in this exercise. And then remember, it's a paper. I want you to really reflect on them, on each of them, what you see works, what doesn't work, and what are some principles you want to integrate into your own preaching there as you go. And then one final thing, here's a thought for you. You can let me know if you enjoy getting the video feedback from your preaching. I've never done that before. I've done audio feedback before, but we now have in MyFire the ability to do video. If you appreciate that, you can let me know. And we could also do a live interactive video session on Zoom, maybe in week 8. One thought would be to talk about what is the future of higher education. I have a session on higher education, but I wrote that 3 years ago before we ever dealt with this COVID-19 pandemic, and it's already brought in a lot of change. There was change happening anyway. In some cases, I think it's just speeding up some of the changes, and we don't know for sure the future. So I don't claim to be able to have some sort of prophetic revelation of what's going to happen, but we do see some definite trends that are going to have some sort of impact on higher education in the future. So you can let me know if we do a live session. It'll be less than an hour, or maybe at an hour, and it will not be required, not reflected on your grade. It would be just available. Some of our professors more and more have gone to doing live synchronous video sessions, and a lot of students have really appreciated that because you don't get to interact with other students. You're living all over the country, and to be able to come together and interact actually with your professor may be a really positive thing. So you can let me know if you'd like to do that or not. Also remember, week 8 is a busy week. You do also have your teaching plan as well as your paper, your theology paper, and this is grad school. You've got a lot to do. do, and hopefully you've been doing this along the way and you find it being something that is super beneficial for you. I love it. I just received some email from some of my students I had last year and even 2 years ago who just told me how this class helped shape them and form them, and they just, even as they are graduating, and we're going to be celebrating a virtual graduation on Friday, they're just excited about what they've learned, not just in this class but the whole program. It's a lot of work, yes, but it forms and shapes you. Well, God bless. I look forward to connecting with you more in the weeks to come.